My name is Stephen Phillips and I work at AT&T Labs. I often have people say, so you're working on conservation biology and you work at AT&T, how does that work? And I explain that the lab has a long history of supporting people doing what they're most interested in and inventing things that really are world-changing, like the laser and the silicon solar cell and the transistor. And these weren't things that people were told to invent or told to work on. People were just researching what they were interested in researching. I've always been a fan of the outdoors. I love backpacking, I like rock climbing, I like cycling. For years I was trying to find a way to combine that with my work. Then I started discovering the kind of questions that ecologists and conservationists are asking turn out to be very computationally intensive. Madagascar is one of the world's greatest hotspots of diversity. It has many thousands of species that exist there and nowhere else. Madagascar has had a very high rate of deforestation for the last 50 years, but what is left is probably enough to support most of the things that live there if it's protected now. In 2005, the president of Madagascar announced that he was going to increase the protected areas of Madagascar from 3% of the country to about 10% of the country. My role in this was in writing the software called MaxEd that was used to help the Madagascar government prioritize where it should make new protected areas. Resilient network design or self-healing networks that plan where new capacity should be added to AT&T's network so that when any network element fails, alternate routes are already set up so that people using AT&T's network don't notice any impact to their performance. So in comparison with designing telecom networks, we're designing networks of protected areas to allow species to have multiple pathways that they can go from current conditions to places where their suitable conditions are. And so it's the same idea. So species are just like traffic in our network. It's forecast that about a quarter of the species on Earth are likely to go extinct during our lifetime. To paraphrase Brian Fisher, who's one of my co-authors on the science paper, we are the first generation to really understand the damage that we're doing to the natural world and the last generation that has any reasonable hope of doing anything to fix it. We have a huge amount of freedom to do research on the topics that we want to work on. There are very few corporate research labs where you could have this kind of freedom.